term, when you work with integrity, you will always win. You're going to become a better agent for it. So for me, that is absolutely non-negotiable.
Welcome to the Realtors Conspiracy podcast, where we are dedicated to unraveling the secrets to real estate success. I'm your host, Maude, and each week we bring you insights from top realtors, entrepreneurs, and innovators, sharing their success stories, mindset, processes, motivations, and the key to their success. Join us every Monday for a new episode and discover how to crack the code to success and take your real estate business to the next level. Don't miss out on the opportunity to unlock your potential. This week, I'm speaking with Suzanne Seini from Innovate Realty. Today's chat is all about abundance. Suzanne, a visionary leader in Orange County, California, runs a successful brokerage guiding over 200 agents. She's a trailblazer in transforming real estate into a collaborative field, focusing on empowerment and sharing income-boosting strategies. Her enthusiasm for nurturing new talent and reshaping the competitive landscape is truly inspiring. Let's get to my chat with Suzanne. This podcast is sponsored by Sold Right Away, the experts in real estate marketing. You work hard selling real estate, we work hard selling you. From listings to branding, Sold Right Away has you covered. For all your real estate marketing needs, visit soldrightaway.com. Hi Suzanne, thanks for joining us on the episode today, and tell us, what is the key to your success?
My success is all about relationships. So I think that even to this day, from previous careers that I had in what feels like a previous life, it has always been about the relationships that I've created with people. Not only are they long lasting, they trust me, but it really has gotten me to where I am today with my brokerage.
I love it. So tell us, how do you nurture those relationships? What is your system or process there?
Honestly, my key there is just doing the right thing. You know, I feel that if you do the right thing for people, they don't forget that, and I think I've always worked as best as I can for whoever I've worked with, even, back in corporate days when I was in the corporate world. I always tried to put my best foot forward. I worked with integrity, and I think that people remember that, and it really has led to what I've built long-term because I'm not burning bridges.
I love it. I love it. Not burning bridges is so important, and not just with your clients, but I'm assuming with other realtors you're working with as well on the other side.
Yeah, absolutely. I think so many times we enter into a real estate transaction and we feel like we have to represent, I think it's a given. We know we have to represent our client very, very well. But I think what agents often miss is that there are other parties on the other side of the transaction. So there are other agents that you're potentially building that relationship with for the future. So by all means, yes, you have to protect your client and they're number one, but it doesn't need to be a battle. I think that, any agent I've ever worked with in a transaction has left the transaction thinking, wow, she was really great to work with. I wouldn't mind working with her again at all, and taking that every time I go into a transaction, knowing that, you never know when you're going to work with this person again.
True. Because if you have a bad experience, the next time you come across their listing, you might not want to show it. You might pick between another one. So
yeah.
It makes sense.
Yeah. Reputation's everything, so it's all we have. And I want people running around town. I feel like, I'm here in Orange County and it's a small industry, and I want people saying, yes, I loved working with Suzanne. She was amazing. She knows her stuff,
Love it. What would you say is the one most impactful thing that you've implemented in your business that brought you success?
I would say, building off the relationships, I would say communication. So you talked about it a little bit when you said, like, what are you actually doing with clients or to build that relationship? I think communication is key. And I put a lot of focus on that. So the way I deliver messages are very important to me. I think that in real estate, a lot of times we're kind of operating as solo agents that, we're not in a corporate world. We don't have someone in the HR department telling us, how to deliver messages. But I think communication gets you so far in life, that if you can master that, you are going to be successful in your business, because it really doesn't matter what you say. The saying is true. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. And delivery is so important. So not only for staying in front of clients, I personally don't work with clients a lot anymore because I have a brokerage with 200 agents. But so for me, it's communicating with my agents. And it's shifted from my clients wanting to work with me again to my agents wanting to be at my brokerage because of the communication that and relationship that they have with me.
I love it. And you talked about reputation for you as an agent, but as a brokerage as well. It's a big piece.
Yeah, exactly.
Very cool. What would be the one thing that you've learned that is your non-negotiable in your business to help you be successful?
Yeah, we already mentioned it, but I snuck it in there, but it is working with integrity. And I think that that is the one thing that you can't lose sight of when, no matter what, again, we're operating really solo in a lot of these transactions. And so there are ways that things can go south. But it's really important that if you act with integrity for your client, for the agents on the other side, for your brokerage, if you're acting with integrity, you're always going to win. Sometimes you might think the easy way is to do something that maybe could get you through a situation faster. But long term, when you work with integrity, you will always win. You're going to become a better agent for it. So for me, that is absolutely non-negotiable.
Absolutely. I love it. Integrity is huge. And you're right. The one-time gain you can get quick is not going to help you long term. So that's very smart. Tell us a little bit more. Now you have 200 agents that work on your brokerage. How do you mentor them? What do you teach them as new agents coming in the industry?
Yeah, so I felt when I came into real estate, the reason why I entered the real estate space is because I truly felt like there was a void of someone like me that had my mentality. And not to pat myself on the back, because that I'm very humbled by my real estate experience when I first entered real estate. But I definitely felt like the industry is made up of agents that are either going to join a team and become very successful, because they're mentoring with someone on a team, or new agents that are coming into the industry and they want to operate on their own, but they don't have that continuation training to make them as successful as they want to be. I was just as confused when I got into real estate, because I started my real estate career at Zillow, and my role at Zillow was to train and coach agents and teach them how to be successful. But it got to a point where I had never closed a real estate transaction. So I kind of felt a little bit of like a hypocrite. I was like, you know what? I'm telling everyone to do this. I'm going to just do it myself. Half the time they listen, half the time they don't. So I'm going to build my own team. And I got into real estate thinking that it was going to be really easy, because I kind of had some background knowledge on marketing and how to build a team. But what I learned very quickly is I didn't know how to do a transaction. And the test that you take, the initial courses and everything, you think that that's going to prepare you for a transaction, but it doesn't. And so, I after experiencing this, I was very lucky because I had a mentor that I linked up with, and she taught me everything I know. But I thought about that, and I thought, there are so many agents out there that they're kind of either forced to join a team, or they're probably not going to be very successful in real estate because they don't know what they're doing. And I don't feel like that should be your only option. It's either you join a brokerage that's going to offer a ton of training, a team that's going to offer, but you're going to give up a lot of your commissions. And if you're an entrepreneur, like I would consider myself, that at some point you're going to leave that team. So now you have that friction, which is what we're trying to avoid, right? Because it's all about relationships. So we're trying to avoid that friction, because now you're going to leave that team. The team lead's going to be upset with you. They invested all this time into your training, and you knew, hey, I just needed to learn before I could move on. So all that to say, I created a program called Mentoracle, where it offers mentors to people, all of the agent 101 that when you're first coming into real estate, you just don't know. And so I created this platform mainly because I really do believe that I'm kind of giving away all the secrets, which I know agents don't love. But I don't operate with that mindset. I have an abundance mindset. I believe that if I help make other agents better, it helps all of us, I'm rambling, but my last point,
Yes, go
my
ahead.
last
Totally. It's so important.
my last point is just that I think real estate agents, even in movies, we don't have the best reputation. Like, we're often portrayed as idiots, and so the way I look at it is, the more we can better ourselves and grow the industry and improve the industry, the better we all look at the end of the day.
Yeah, I love it. This is so empowering. And then when you think about it, all those secrets you're sharing, some agents will apply them and they'll grow, and some of them will choose not to. So I think it's such an abundance, like you said, of share knowledge.
Yeah. And if I can help one person be better, I'm happy. I think that we all try and make our mark. We all do what we can. And, like you said, some people are, I mean, I've offered this service for free for all of my agents. And it's really, I even putting it together, I was like, I don't want to charge a whole lot for this, because I just want people to use it and be successful. But half the time my agents don't even log into it, so it's, you really, and that brings me to, to be a successful agent, you have to have a plan. You have to have a training plan. You have to have a business plan. You have to have a marketing plan, so whatever that is, whether it's Mentoracle, whether, you've gone out and signed up for some coaching and you feel that that's the best route for you, no matter what it is, you have to have a plan.
Love it. Business plan, marketing plan, and learning, continuous learning plan. Love it.
Yeah.
Very cool. So you help realtors through all of those.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I offer whatever I can, I feel that I have a unique experience from being on the other side, and so I try to take my marketing expertise and bring that as well. And each agent is different, right? Like, each agent is at a different stage. So whatever I can do, whatever my team can do to help people be successful, we're here for it, just want to help everyone succeed.
Very cool. When you're talking about business plan and marketing plan, what would be your 3 top lead generating activities that you would tell realtors they must apply in their business?
I'm a big believer of online lead generation because of my Zillow background. So look, say what you will about Zillow taking over the world or whatever it is. I know that people get really upset about that, but there's also people making a lot of money off of those leads. So I've always been of the mindset of, you can't control what these other companies are doing. You have to embrace what you can. So Zillow has always been an amazing lead generation tool. I love Zillow. I love Realtor.com. I love OpCity. I love HomeLight. But I also have learned that when you're buying leads from companies like that, your fate is in their hands, right? And so I think that you have to have an aspect of your business where the fate is in your hands and you're controlling that lead source. So, I'm a huge fan of agents working open houses. Like, I have to say, especially in the market that we're in right now, it is tough out there. But getting face to face with a buyer that is looking to buy a house, like what else should you be doing with your time? Like, put me at every single open house that I can be at, because that is the easiest and most cost-effective way to get a buyer, hands down.
Love
Right?
it. Love it. Open houses are huge. You can get a buyer, like you said, but also the neighbor who's also thinking of selling, who needs to meet you and know how you are and what your energy feels like to sell their house.
Exactly. Yeah.
Open houses, yeah, very huge.
I feel like they're underrated. They get a bad rap. It's like no one wants to work the open house on the weekend, but yeah, I mean, all my agents are like, give me the open house,
Nice.
because they pick up buyers, and it takes the guesswork out of it, right? Like, these people are looking. They're looking for some reason, whether it's for tomorrow or 6 months from now, but get in front of that client and earn their business. And then any other aspect of that, free marketing that you could take advantage of. I think, each agent has to have a plan. I think some of it should be online lead generation. Like, that absolutely works. But again, I think the other half of that has to be within your control and the actions that you're taking to be successful in your business.
I love it because you can't put all your eggs in the same basket. So all online leads but half and half, face to face. It's so great. Two best advice. Nice. I have some rapid fire questions for you.
Okay.
So these are like quick questions, tips for realtors to empower them. So let's get started if you're okay.
Sure.
What's the best marketing strategy to win more listings?
To win more listings, I would say have a different offering. I don't know if you want me to elaborate on this or if it's just rapid fire.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think it's really important. I think every agent that goes to a listing presentation is literally saying the same exact thing. I'm going to do drone photos. I'm going to have this beautiful video for you. I'm going to put you on all the websites. So when you're showing up there, you have to have something different. And it doesn't necessarily need to be something financial. It could just be you being different, coming in and saying something else. One thing that my company does is we offer to sellers to remodel their home at no cost out of pocket, and they pay for that out of closing. So every single time I'm walking in and I'm saying, okay, as most agents would say, hey, here's what we need to do to get the home ready. I'm coming in and saying, here's what we're going to do to get the home ready, and you don't have to pay for this until we close. That's how confident we are that we're going to sell this at top dollar. So I think just having something else, a tool in your tool belt that is going to set you apart from others, I think is super important.
Super cool. Awesome. What's the best social media tactic for real estate growth?
I am a huge fan of Instagram. I really feel like that is, I think social media in general is what we were talking about when we were talking about free marketing. I feel like Social media is free. So whatever you can do to stay in front of your clients. But what I do think the important thing is you're not just constantly selling yourself or even, selling a house on social media. Yes, I think it's good to show that you do business. But I feel like you have to put yourself in the consumer's position. What do they actually want to see you doing? And what do they want to see on social media? But I think consistently posting, but providing value, not just posting to post, provide some value of what your ideal client would want to know.
Love it. So cool. What's the must-have tech tool?
Must have tech tools. So for an agent, if you do not have a CRM in today's world, you're light years behind the rest. So I think having a CRM is really important. With that, I think there are so many out there. And we personally use KV Core. I love KV Core. I think there are some amazing lead generation tools within the CRM, but the best CRM that you're ever gonna have is the one that you use. So it doesn't matter all the bells and whistles, but you absolutely have to have a CRM to stay in front of your clients and manage that client base.
Love it. What's your advice for new realtors?
New realtors, soak it up like a sponge. You don't know what you're doing. So find someone that does, whether it's just a mentor, whether you use Mentoracle, it really doesn't matter. You just need someone to help you through the process. Don't try and reinvent the wheel. I think as much information as you can get, that's what you want to do. But what I will say with that is also don't be distracted by things that are not going to bring you money. So a lot of times, like, there are broker previews, right? And every agent is trained. We're supposed to go look at this house when it hits the market. And it's a big social event. I don't think you need to go to every single broker preview. Should you go and, meet and network with agents? Absolutely. Especially if you have a client looking for a house like that. Absolutely. But sometimes agents find them doing things that, are really, they're trained that they're supposed to be doing it. But if it's not money making, you got to set it to the side, and learn as much as you can, but also don't waste your time with things that, are not going to help you grow.
That's amazing, because that is the next question, is what are top 3 income generating activities? So that's so perfect. You mentioned that.
Yeah, I think so. One thing that we haven't touched on that I think is really important is having a schedule. I think, again, as agents, we kind of operate in our own world. And often we don't make a set schedule for ourselves. So picking up the phone and calling your leads, like, hands down, that should be happening every single day. That is absolutely going to bring you results. Getting out in the field. If you have a listing coming up, if your team has a listing coming up, if your brokerage has a listing coming up in an area, if someone has a listing coming up in the area, it doesn't matter. If you don't have a listing coming up, go walk the neighborhood that you want to walk and, get in front of these people face to face. And then lastly, the open houses. I think, again, open houses are so underrated. Work an open house, work the neighborhood when you work the open house. So don't just show up. I think the misconception with open houses is like, we're there to just sell this house, which is great. You definitely want to sell the house, but you also really want to get in front of as many people as you possibly can and use that opportunity as a foot in the door. I think agents really struggle with that first hook. Like, what is your hook to draw people in when you're communicating with clients? So have your hook, know what your hook is. And if your hook is, hey, I just sold the house down the street for the record-breaking price of the neighborhood, whatever that is, just make sure you have your hook. And those would be my top 3 things.
Amazing, amazing. And the last one is, what's the best advice you've ever received?
Best advice I've ever received. I would say, this is really funny, but I think it's really relevant. So a long time ago, when I first started my career, I started in phone sales. And I remember a manager at the time telling me, fake it till you make it. And I still, to this day, I think that we get in these situations. For example, I met someone off of Zillow that I didn't know them at all. And I show up meeting them for the first time at the property, the listing agent's there. That's a really uncomfortable situation. But I walk up like I have known that person for years, because I want that listing agent to know, number one, that they're a great client, that I have a relationship with them. Number two, that they can't steal my clients, and think that I don't, work with them all the time. But I always remember that fake it till you make it, because I think in real estate, often we're literally acting. Like, a lot of times we don't have the answer to every single solution. I'm not saying to fake it and make an answer up, but you're gonna figure it out. So I think if you bring that confidence in, my mentor once said to me, act like you're in a movie when you're showing what, in your daily real estate life, pretend like it's a movie. And I genuinely do that. If you just kind of block everything else out and tell yourself like, the rest of this isn't real, it kind of calms the nerves a little bit, and it helps you just be the best that you can be.
Love it. Love it. So cool. So
Yeah.
also that brings up, everybody has their own definition of success. So what is your definition of success?
Yeah, that's a good question. That's interesting. So, I have achieved with the help of my team, because it definitely wasn't just me, but in 2021, we got number 1 in the state of California, ranked by Real Trends, number 3 in the nation, and then in 2022, we got number 3 in California. So I've achieved levels of success that are measured by others, but what I find is the most gratifying for me is my agent's success that I can say that I have contributed to. So knowing that, again, my team is successful and that I helped with that, that's what I find the most gratifying, and how I would define success is when the others around me are excelling.
I love that. So elevating, empowering. Love it. Very cool. Tell us, where do we find you or your brokerage or your course?
Yeah, so my brokerage is Innovate Realty, and you can find us at innovaterealty.com. You can find me on Instagram at Suzanne Seini, and you can find my platform Mentoracle at mentoracle.com or at Mentoracle on Instagram.
Amazing. Thank you so much for sharing all those tips. It's going to be so helpful for so many realtors, I can tell.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks for having me.
Thanks for tuning in. Until next time, make every action count. Reflect on this episode and apply one action today. If you like this episode, share it with others and help spread the word. Together, we can inspire and empower more people to crack the code to real estate success. Subscribe to our podcast, Realtors Conspiracy, today.